guys, Panic here. We're going to be talking a little bit about Sombra here. More specifically, what I think we're going to be seeing ability-wise for Sombra herself. Outside of that, we've got two images that are mainly known and most likely confirmed to be Sombra. We've got the previous art leak from right here that is Sombra from a earlier version of herself that was seen definitely a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago actually. This one right here is a new image that was actually taken from the Blizzard store that was mistakenly uploaded as Sombra artwork. And we're going to be talking about what we think, what we can expect maybe from the hero just based off these two images. It's going to be really cool. Let's go ahead and hop right back into it. Well, let's go ahead and bring up this first image really quick. The first image is the first one that was definitely released. Most of the image has already been deciphered and all this stuff. She's not out on Halloween as expected, but let's go ahead and talk about the first thing we noticed. The first thing we noticed is the art style is definitely pretty good. We're going to get that hacker look. We've still pretty much got the gloves that are reminiscent of the new art image. The only difference we're really seeing right here is the lack of an Uzi on the new art image, and this could be the fact that she may have a secondary weapon. I think that this is going to be either her primary or secondary for the Uzi. I think it's maybe have about 25 to 30 shots. Maybe do somewhere in the damage of what Widowmaker may do. I'm trying to put her maybe, I think she could be a support or even a defensive hero. I think the Uzi is going to be more like a secondary weapon, how we have a weapon swap between either, like how we have Mercy, how she has a staff as well as a weapon. So I think it could definitely be a weapon swap, which would be really cool. Now you're asking like, well, why do you think it's a weapon swap, and what would her other weapon be? Well, I think her other weapon could possibly be what we have are these whips, these whip-looking things are coming out. They could be whips that could attach to people or just do some mainly bit of physical damage from close range. Maybe not too much of a range itself, but I think it could be something just to at least look out for. Outside of that, I think it's mainly we're going to be seeing the Uzi as a primary weapon. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what I think her abilities really could be, since we're going out of it. Well, I think Sombra is not a tank hero. I don't really think she would be a offense hero, just based off the image itself, because the image itself has her hacking into a robot or something like that. I think she could be either a defensive hero or, like I said, a support hero. While granted a support hero was just released for Ana, it definitely could lead more into the defensive hero side. Now, what do I think some of her abilities are? Well, we've known from a little bit of audio files from earlier that it could be invisibility, like, where's Sombra? I know you're around here. Like, more specifically, there are other audio cues from earlier versions of what's leaked from people just hacking in, or even from the ARG, if I'm not mistaken, that it could just be that her ult just completely cloaks the team. And you're like, well, this could be really OP. And I completely agree, it would definitely be OP, but it could easily be countered and could easily bring Widowmaker back into the game because of Widowmaker's ult with the infrared vision. So they pretty much are setting up for a team of completely invisible people. Now, I think that one's a really big one right there. That I think another one of her abilities that she could have ultimate-wise is that it could be just a giant silence. I think that would be a really cool cool thing that we've got. We've already got something from Ana that pretty much blocks healing. I think maybe her ult could maybe block all ability uses, including ultimates, for maybe about 5 seconds. I think that would be a really cool addition. And maybe a little bit more of a MOBA aspect towards it, but again, we're not really entirely sure. Another thing I think she could possibly do is she could possibly hack into health packs, because we know the Sombra from the ARG and from everything else is that she herself is a hacker. So what does that mean? Well, of course she's got to hack into something. I don't think she'd be hacking into anyone really in terms of main characters such as Bastions and stuff, since they're not really into the professional meta. But I do think she could hack into health packs, maybe with her basic shift or her basic abilities. And I think that would be a really cool one. Like, instead of healing, that it instead takes damage. I think that would actually be a really cool concept, that she's just running around sneaky. She's pretty sneaky. She just runs around and then just does healing. I mean, one of her abilities, her basic abilities, could actually be just cloaking herself. Just has a really long cooldown. How you would kind of see from Widowmaker's little slings thing that she runs around Spider-Man like. I think that'd be a good concept as well, just running around her invisible with maybe her either whips that she's got little going, or maybe just running around with her little big old Uzi, just rocking around doing some damage. But I think those are pretty much my really big ones that I think that she could have ability-wise. I think she could definitely have invisibility. I mean, we could even see around these legs right here. It's almost translucent right here. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Um, but I definitely think those are pretty much the abilities we could look out for. We could look out for maybe a silence. We could look out for invisibility. We could look at hacking into health packs. I think again would be really cool. Another thing that could possibly be really cool, I know it's again more of a stretch, that instead of doing healing, like her ult, or maybe her ult could be instead of doing absolute healing, she's doing like instead of you healing someone for 10 HP, like as a mercy, you just be like, well, I'm gonna try to heal you, but instead it does damage instead. I think that would be a really cool concept to just nullify healing as well. Outside of that, I really expect to see Sombra during BlizzCon coming up starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting in Anaheim. I think we could definitely see her making an appearance. I think it's definitely highly likely. I think the ARG's pretty much run its course, and I could probably see Sombra coming to the PTR probably the Tuesday after BlizzCon. I think they've pretty much had their time. They've had a large amount of time from Ana. They've been running this ARG forever, but I really think that Sombra has a high chance of appearing at over on the Overwatch version. I think we could even see maybe a new map, maybe even a new game mode. Would be really cool. I'm not really sure on what we could really expect. I'd personally love to see a skirmish mode, but again, that's up to them. Outside of that, this is Panic. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said before, we'll be issuing a contest here shortly. I'll probably post the video tomorrow or Monday. Maybe it's probably sometimes around BlizzCon, but I'll do my best to let you guys know about what we see and basically how everything's going. Outside of that, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Love you guys!